RHOBH Teddi Mellencamp marriage over due to infidelity. Did RHOBH alum Teddi Mellencamp's marriage end due to infidelity? She and her husband of 13 years, Edwin Arroyev, have struggled for some time, even before Teddi started on Housewives. Yet did cheating cause the divorce filing? Keep reading for more details. Teddi Mellencamp marriage over due to infidelity? When Teddi Mellencamp shared she and her husband, Edwin Arroyev, were getting a divorce, it was shocking. They seemed very happy and had welcomed a daughter, Dove, in February 2020. After undergoing IVF to conceive their first two children, Slade and Cruz, this was a miracle baby. Before she joined RHOBH in Season 8, the duo were having problems. Teddi hesitated sharing that she and Edwin were headed toward a divorce, as she had just met this group of ladies. Yet there was a financial power balance that had never occurred before in the marriage, with Edwin holding all of the money cards. Teddi was not used to that, but she had just launched her accountability coach program, and it had yet to grow to where it is now. They had to watch her first season back to see how lucky they were and reevaluate their marriage. Essentially, RHOB saved them. She was let go after Season 10, but still popped up, and then she joined forces with RHOC star Tamra Judge for the Two Teeths in a Pod podcast. It has done incredibly well with Teddi, even making an appearance on RHOC. Then she shared she filed for divorce, but was she unfaithful, leading to the demise of her marriage? According to at Breaking Through Roll Spot Clips, Teddi Mellencamp has been allegedly having an affair with her married horse trainer. This is supposedly not a big secret in the horse world, as DMs were sent to Dumois, who shared the tea. They added the horse trainer's wife found out, and it became an all-out brawl. Edwin was also allegedly having an affair, but he and Teddi were trying to work it out. Finally, all of their drama came to a head the day before Teddi filed. The mess of it all. Some followers are big into the horse world and have followed the horse trainer. Allegedly, his wife has given clues that she is done with him. I'm a big equestrian and follow the guy and his whole barn on IG. I just noticed his wife moved to another barn and changed her last name on there. I thought, that's weird. Then all this. Holy asterisk. His wife also apparently just gave birth in May, so they found that extremely distasteful. Others mocked Teddi Mellencamp's accountability business after details emerged. For an accountability coach, she's not doing a very good job. Others wondered if this was a contrived effort to get back on RHOBH. Either way, it is very sad for all parties involved. She may have to address it on her podcast or take a leave given how public it has become. Teddi Mellencamp sat at the expansive marble island in her kitchen, her fingers tapping rhythmically against the rim of her untouched coffee mug. The early morning sunlight streamed through the massive floor-to-ceiling windows, casting a golden glow on the pristine white cabinetry. It should have been a peaceful moment, a moment of stillness before the chaos of another day. But peace had been a foreign concept to her lately. The rumors had started swirling weeks ago, whispers in the corners of Beverly Hills' most exclusive events. Murmurs exchanged between manicured lips at the most elite restaurants. Teddi had heard them all, at first brushing them off with a practiced laugh. After all, she was no stranger to gossip. It came with the territory of being on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. But as the whispers grew louder, as the stories became more detailed, doubt began to creep in. It was a girls' night out that had first planted the seed of suspicion. Kyle Richards, her longtime bestie and co-star, had invited her over for an impromptu wine night. The second Teddi walked into Kyle's lush living room, she sensed something was off. Kyle hesitated before speaking. Listen, Teddi, I didn't want to say anything, but I think you should hear it from me first. The way Kyle was twisting her rings, her lips pressing together in a tight line. It was a look Teddi had seen before. A look that preceded bad news. "What is it?" Teddi asked, trying to keep her voice even. Kyle exhaled. "There are rumors going around that Edwin, well, that he's been seen out with someone else. More than once." For a moment, the words didn't register. Edwin, her husband. The father of her children? No, not Edwin. Not the man who stood by her side through her cancer scare, who supported her every business endeavor, who was always home by dinner. Or so she thought. Teddi let out a nervous laugh. "Kyle, come on. You know how people talk. Who's even saying this?" Kyle hesitated. "It started with Sutton. She mentioned seeing him at a restaurant in Malibu with a blonde. Not you." And then Erica chimed in, saying she heard similar things. Teddy's stomach dropped. Sutton? Erica? Since when do they care about my marriage? She forced a smirk, but her hands were trembling as she reached for her glass of Pinot Grigio. "Teddi, I don't want to believe it either," Kyle said gently. "But I've been hearing it from too many people." Teddi spent the next few days in denial. She didn't ask Edwin outright. She didn't want to seem paranoid. Instead, she started paying closer attention, checking his schedule, noticing his sudden increase in late meetings and last-minute work trips. The signs were there, clear as day, yet she willed herself not to see them. It all came crashing down one evening when she got a DM that changed everything. The message contained a grainy photo of Edwin at a rooftop lounge in West Hollywood, a woman's hand resting a little too intimately on his knee. The sender was anonymous, but the message was clear. "He's not being faithful to you." Her heart pounded as she stared at the screen. She zoomed in, analyzing every detail. It wasn't just any woman, it was someone familiar. A fitness influencer she had crossed paths with at several wellness events. Her hands trembled as she called Edwin. "Where are you?" "Still at the office, babe. Long day." His voice was steady, unfazed. "Funny," she said, her voice eerily calm. "Because I just got a picture of you at a rooftop lounge with someone who is definitely not me." Silence. "Then Teddi, come on. It's not what it looks like." She let out a sharp laugh. "It never is, right?" That night, Edwin came home late, his face clouded with worry. He had an explanation, a flimsy excuse about a business meeting and how people love to make assumptions. But Teddi knew better. She had spent years holding people accountable, professionally and personally. And now she had to hold herself accountable too. The next few days were a blur of tense conversations, hushed phone calls to lawyers, and tear-filled talks with Kyle, who had been by her side through it all. Teddi tried to put on a brave face, but the reality was sinking in fast. She had fought so hard to build a strong marriage, to be the devoted wife, the perfect mother. But what was the point if trust had been shattered? And then came the bombshell. TMZ broke the story before she had even finalized her decision. WHO-based Teddi Mellencamp and Edwin Arroyav, polite, amid cheating scandal. The headline screamed from her phone screen, making it all too real. Paparazzi were suddenly camped outside her house. Fellow housewives were calling and texting, half of them pretending to be concerned, the other half clearly reveling in the drama. Even Andy Cohen reached out, subtly hinting at a sit-down interview on Watch What Happens Live. But Teddi wasn't ready to be the broken-hearted reality star whose dirty laundry was aired for public consumption. Not yet. She needed to find her own truth in this mess first. One morning, as she sat in the kitchen, sipping her now-cold coffee, she looked around at the home they had built together, the life they had shared. It wasn't perfect, but it had been real. Could they fix it? Was there anything left to save? She didn't have the answers yet. But for the first time in weeks, she knew one thing for certain. She wasn't going to let the world dictate her next move. This was her story, and she would be the one to write the ending.